Hey guys,
I'm Bob.
I'm Barb. Together we make up.
HetteshWorld.
Are you doing another upgrade video today, Bob?
We were actually going to do 4 today,
Oh my goodness.
but they're all going to be fairly simple. You'll see as we go along through the video. But number 1, we're going to do adding a Victron 712 monitor, and that is going to monitor our batteries, our lithium batteries. So what's coming into the batteries and what's going out of the batteries. Okay, so number 2, I am going to add a progressive dynamic converter, and that is going to add additional voltage that the factory converter would only charge to 13.5 volts, and our batteries, our new Battleborn batteries, can handle a 14.6 volt charge. So that's what this converter does. Both of these products, the Victron and the converter, was purchased through Battleborn Batteries.
We love Battleborn. Hey Dereck, you're doing an awesome job at Battleborn Batteries.
The third thing in our projects today that are in the kitchen, the thermistor that reads for the thermostat is in the window up high where the sun comes in, hits it, which causes our AC to run non-stop in that upper room in that kitchen. So what I did, I relocated it about 18 to 24 inches down and moved it more inward so it's not getting affected by the sun when we have the windows open.
And the fourth project is going to be something about hydraulics.
Yep. We are going to, on the hydraulics, everybody that has a hydraulic liquid system, LCI, knows they hear the popping noises, especially at night when you get the popping of the temperature change. So we are going to add some different hydraulic fluid.
So it sounds like we got our hands full today, so let's get started, so stay tuned. We're Bob and Barb. We've lived by the rules all of our lives, but in 2020 we threw that rule book out the window. We sold our home and moved full-time into an RV with our cat Amelia, and from now on we will be living life our way. Don't you want to come travel in our world?
What we're going to do today, we got a Go Power solar controller. It doesn't really give us a very good state of charge of the batteries. So I am adding this Victron Battery Monitor with Bluetooth so we can monitor it from our cell phones. You can actually install this and put it down by your batteries if you want, but I want it up here to where I can see it. What we're going to do is we're going to mount it right in here, and then it's going to have a RJ12 that hooks to it, and they give you a very long cable.
That's good. We need a long cable.
So yeah, we're going to need about maybe a third of this. I don't know how long this is. Looks like it's 50 foot or so. And this is a 500 amp shunt. So all the negatives are going to run through here. The battery's going to jump in. It's marked battery only. So the battery negatives will all tie to here. And then our load. So all the negatives for the load will tie onto this back side here. And then it's got a positive that comes off here and goes to the battery. That's going to give us exactly what's going into the batteries from the solar, generator, charge controller. And then it's going to show what's going out of the battery, so we'll know at all times what our state of charge is on the batteries. So today I'm just going to add this in here so we can get this out of the way. We're going to pull this cable up through here. What we did the last time we were in this cabinet, when we were installing our surge guard, we pulled an extra cable. We did find out that you can remove this step real easy, and it accesses it much easier than it was when we tried to fish this wire through it. So this is our one control. It just lifts up. It's got little hooks. You just lift it up off there, and then you have access into this wall. So we're going to put our Victron right here. We're going to pull the cable up to it. So that'll be next. All right, now down here in the basement, we're going to slide this wall out of the way, and you'll see the mass spaghetti of wires.
You want to show them?
That they leave. I mean, that's the end control. These panels slide, so you can access this side over here. Got your water pump, and you got your hydraulics, and all that wasted space back there behind the couch.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to find is the wire that we stuck in here.
Yeah, we tried to make it simple, so if we ever had to pull something again, we had a wire you could pull through.
Yep. And I don't think we'll have to worry about the next time because I can access it from that step now. So this shouldn't be that big a deal.
The last time it was my little skinny arm that reached all the way up there and grabbed it. In the million of 1,000 wires.
Yeah, they could do a lot better job on the electrical and the plumbing, and they got the hydraulic, the electrical, the plumbing, it's all running in the same. If you were building this for yourself, I guarantee you'd do a lot better job, but I know these things are mass produced, so they just pretty much toss them together.
All right, so I'm gonna go inside and wait for the word to pull it up. Okay, so my instructions are to pull slowly, and if it feels like it's caught, to stop. I think it's caught on something. It's almost out. It's out. I don't know how much wire you need out.
This is a 2-inch hole saw. Probably need a 2 1/16 to make it exact, because this is probably some kind of metric size maybe, but it's a little bit bigger than a 2-inch, so you don't have much room for error. They give you a little template. I don't have a 2 1/16 inch. I got a 2-inch, so I'm going to kind of wobble a little bit as it goes in, so it gives me just a little extra room so I can slide this guy in. I wobbled a little bit to get it so it fit 2-inch. It's got a little thread vise here, and then like I said, our RJ12 will plug into here. That will go down to our shunt trip. And I kind of held it to one side in case I would ever want to add something here small, since it's got limited space. I don't know at this point what I'd be adding, but RV life, you always
never know.
Always doing some modifications. It never ends. One control, like I said, just lifts up, comes out, real easy off the brackets, back on. So that's it for the inside installation.
All right.
Very simple.
So now we'll work on hooking it up on the outside.
Yep. The wire, eventually I'm gonna pull all the excess, we come back into this scrambled mess, but I'm pulling it. It's going up through here, across the front compartment. It's gonna come up in here, cross over. Then they got a little plastic cover here that hides the negative ground and all the positive hookups. It comes over to the battery compartment, which is a sealed compartment, and I'm going to come through right there, and then the shunt fuse will mount right there, and that RJ12 will tie to it, and that'll bring it up to the monitor. And then these, of course, these connectors here are going to be our battery side. Then everything else that ties to the negative side, which is the chassis ground. They make it very important that you get the chassis ground on there. So that's where we're at right now. All right, today we're gonna finish up this Victron 712 with Bluetooth monitoring system. I pulled our RJ12 through here, and I put a grommet on it to protect the wire coming through the cabinet. This is an enclosed battery cabinet here. Those are our two Battleborn 100 amp per hour batteries. The dealer installed these batteries, and they see how long they left the wire. It's kind of an undersized gauge. But it's probably not an undersized gauge. It's just I'm going to up it a little bit. But I got to get a negative from this battery up into here. And then all the other negatives that come off the battery are going to come off of the load side, so it knows everything that's coming in and out of the battery. That's what I'm going to work on today. We're going to shorten these long crossovers. Tying these two batteries together is a 12 volt 200 amp per hour battery source. I'll show you when we get her shortened up and tidied up in here. All right, I got the battery cabinet all cleaned up. I use this battery tool along with these connectors. I used the heat tape. I made up these little short runs out of number 2, and in the factory I put it back on here. They have these big giant loops on here, just electrical taped. So I used the heat shrink tape on all the connections, cleaned them all up, and then our shunt up here This is our battery side, this is our load side. So this is the solar coming in on the negative side, and this is our negative ground for the chassis. We're gonna hook this RJ11 back in here and see if we get our console inside working. All right, here it is mounted in the cabinet, and this is also Bluetooth, which I use the Bluetooth on my phone because everything in the camper that we install so far has been able to be used with Bluetooth. But you can bounce around this software, but it's so much easier. I'll show you on the app on the phone. All right, so the app you have to download is this Victron app right here, Victron Connect, and it's going to connect through Bluetooth. You'll see it here pop up. It's showing a signal. Now click on it. Now it's going to connect directly to that monitor. And I did call Battleborn, and I had them walk me through the settings to make sure it was set up for the Battleborn batteries.
Yeah, Battleborn is very easy to work with. They're probably the easiest vendor we've had to deal with so far.
Yeah, even though make Victron stuff, but anything to do with solar, Victron that they sell, they will back it up.
They actually know about it.
They'll back the product up. So as you can see, it'll show you your voltage. It'll show your state of charge, which we're 98% right now. Right now we're hooked up to a campground, so we're really not relying on the converter to give us charge. We, it gives our battery voltage, our current, our power that's being used. Now, if we're getting right now, we have no sun coming out, so we're not getting any solar. This power would show a positive charge going in. Right now, we got some lights on, so it's going out. That's why you have to put that shunt trip, and you got to put your battery in between that, so all your negatives are on one side of that shunt and on the other side is your battery, so that way it reads your battery. But this gives you your time remaining, so it's if we were to shut the power off to the camper, we got 6 days worth of power based on our usage right now. Of course, if the refrigerator is running and we're on, it's
real usage.
These are going to drop. So we normally get a couple days on the camper, unless we're getting solar coming in.
When we were in Texas, this was very useful for us, right? Because we were able to monitor it. And how long did our batteries and all that stuff?
Oh, we went from day to day with no problem. Even while we're going down the road, if we're getting on a sunny day, our state of charge on our battery, even running our refrigerator going down the road, we drove 6 hours before, and our state of charge will still be 100%.
Yeah, ice cream is still frozen.
Yeah, so we have no problems even with just the 2 batteries. If you're going to be a boondocker full time, you're probably going to need more solar and more batteries. But that's what this is, and like you can go into history, and it'll show you all your information. I haven't dug too deep into it. When you go into settings, that's where I got Battleborn on the phone. I actually clicked on the battery.
It's wanting us to do an update, so it's not letting us see anything.
But yeah, this is where they walk me through setting up the battery.
Okay, that seems pretty good, easy to me anyway.
Yep. All right, I just want to give you guys a little update on the converter and why we went with the non-factory converter. We bought this converter from Battleborn Batteries, and our original converter would only charge, it was basically set up for lead acid batteries, so it would only give us a charge of 13.6, which our Battleborn batteries can be charged up to 14.6. We went with the progressive dynamic converter so we could get a 14.6 charge. So on our Victron Battery Monitor, it would actually show a full charge. So that's why we did that.
And here's the process of how we put it in.
Yep. Here's the door to access the converter. I'm just trying to show you the converter. It's right there. That's the new one I installed. So it's pretty simple. You basically disconnect your AC power, turn off your shore power, turn off your battery disconnect, connect your positive and your negative DC, and then the receptacle or the plug just plugs into the back of your electrical panel. Right, so I'm going to show you outside what I did, and like I said, this is not an install video, just showing you what you did if you happen to own a Riverstone or any larger fifth wheel. It's probably going to have the level up system, which is the leveling system, and it's all hydraulic, and it's not every brand. I mean, you search Riverstone, Grand Design, Keystone, they all had the same issue, and there's lots of videos on the web on it. But on the Riverstone, they happen to have a little hydraulic area, which is down in here. It's in our front storage. This is our bin right here, where the oil goes. So right now, the hydraulics are down and the slides are out, which is our center slides. So we have, the reservoir looks to be low. But if you look in there, you want to pull a cord of this out of here. And what I did, I bought this little pump. I got this from Harbor Freight, just a little oil pump. And you can see it's red transmission fluid. I pumped the cord out, and then I bought this right here, this fork oil. This is one of the recommendations even Lippert gives you to replace it with. So what I did is I replaced a quart of the transmission fluid with this fork oil. And then what you want to do is have your truck hooked up to it, and you want to do your all your leveling. And then if you got hydraulic slides, which our main slides are hydraulic, so we work them in and out. And two camping trips later, we're still not having any noise anymore. So
is that something you have to do every so often, or only when you hear it?
They say when you hear it, if you have a problem. It seems to be, to me, it seems to be temperature related. It does it more at nighttime. You'll hear crickling and crackling, especially when you're walking around. If you're going to the refrigerator to get something to drink, it sounds like it's cracking and making all kinds of popping noise.
Temperature, you mean when it was cooler?
Yeah, when it's cooler out, or it gets cooler at night, it seems to do it more. But this is definitely the solution. I ordered me an extra quart of this to have on hand in case it acts up again. I don't know why the factory doesn't use a better oil from the beginning. I guess it's just cheap to throw transmission fluid in. It's not just Riverstone, it's all of them. They all do the same thing.
And we have two slides that use the hydraulic oil, right?
Yep.
And then the other ones are electric.
Yeah, these are all electric.
And of course our jacks.
Yeah, the jacks are hydraulic. So that's it. Just wanted to go over what projects we did. If you guys have any comments, comment below. So I'm Bob, and Barbara's behind the camera. We're HetteshWorld. Come travel in our world.
Bye.